So that was task response. The second parameter that we have is known as coherence and cohesion. To put in simple words, you can say that coherence is the structure of your answer, structure or organization. Whereas cohesion is the flow of your answer. Okay. So when we talk about structure or organization, this can be understood at three levels. How are the words organized within a sentence? How are the sentences organized within a paragraph? And how are the paragraphs organized within the essay? Okay. So let's understand first at word level. How should the words be organized within a sentence? What we are going to see now is known as parallelism. Okay, or let's first see. He likes driving, or he likes to drive, sing, and cooking. Is this statement correct? Henil says yes, it is correct. So it's not correct. Why is it not correct? Because I have written two of the verbs over here are in simple present or in the base form, drive, sing, whereas this is in the ing form. Okay. So what we should do is, this sentence can be written in two ways. We can either write he likes to drive, sing and cook, or we should write he likes singing, driving and cooking, right? Either all of them should be in the ing form or all of them should be in the simple present form, right? It should not be a mixture of both. This is what is known as, so in this case, let's say if two of them are in the simple form, simple present form, this should also be in the same form, and this is what is known as parallelism. Okay, so all the list of an items of the list should be of the same grammatical style. Now at B is at sentence level. So how should the sentences be organized within a paragraph? So the first sentence of all the body paragraphs or of any paragraph should be the main idea or the topic sentence, followed by explanation with reason, example, and conclusion, which is known as result. This should be the structure of your sentences in a paragraph. This will make sure that the answers are well explained, right? And the examiner is able to understand your point easily. Also, how well the sentences are connected among themselves, right? How are these sentences connected is also very important. Now, for that, let's understand. Let's take an example and let's try to understand this point. COVID crisis has made many migrant laborers to move back to their hometowns. This has caused a shortage of man force in the market. Okay. COVID crisis has made many migrant laborers to move back to their hometowns. This has caused a shortage of man force in the market. Tell me, what is this word this referring to? Migration of laborers, the moving back of them. So this refers to something that is mentioned in the previous statement. Got it? So this shows a very good logical connection between the first sentence and the second sentence. Getting it? Right, it shows a very good logical connection between the two statements because it refers to something which we have written in the previous statement, which is COVID crisis or this, migration of laborers. Consider this point. Anna is an intelligent girl. She is considered laborious. Okay. Here she refers to whom? She refers to Anna, which I have used in the previous statement. So guys, this again shows a very good logical connection between this statement and the previous statement, right? So this also shows a very good connection. So whenever you use a pronoun to refer to something, a subject that we have mentioned in the previous statement, it shows a very good logical connection between the two statements. So whenever you show a very good connection between the two statements, you get marks for coherence. Shows a very good logical connection at paragraph level. So we all know that it should start with an introduction, there should be two body paras, and there should be a conclusion at the end. But there is something that you should follow, which is known as bottom line on the top approach. Blot. Now try to understand what is blot. Whenever we move from one paragraph to the other, what happens? Sometimes the transition is not smooth and is known as abrupt transition. Let's say you were discussing something in a certain paragraph, and then you change the paragraph, and in the next paragraph you start discussing something which is completely unrelated to what we have discussed in the previous paragraph, right? So as a reader, if someone is reading such kind of an essay where there is no connection between the two paragraphs, the transition doesn't seem smooth over here, getting it? When you move from the first paragraph to the second paragraph. Therefore, to make this transition smooth, what you should do is, in the last sentence of a paragraph, you should just mention in a few words the main idea of the next paragraph, so that the reader gets a glimpse of what you are going to discuss in the next paragraph in the last line of the previous paragraph. Getting it? So that when the reader moves to the next paragraph, the transition is not abrupt. It's known as smooth transition. The transition is smooth. So this is one thing. In the body paragraph, as you are ending, just in the last line, mention something that you are going to discuss in the next paragraph. Just give a hint of that. Now, ICMR has laid down a number of precautionary measures the council XYZ, whatever it is. Here again, the council refers to what? Council refers to ICMR, which I have mentioned in the previous statement. So instead of repeating that word, what did I use? I used the word the council. The council means the is a definite article. Definite article means I am referring to something which I mentioned in the previous statement again, right? So this shows what am I doing is I've substituted this term ICMR with the term the council, right? So guys, what we have just seen is called reference and substitution. What is known as reference and substitution? Substitution, in this case, we have substituted ICMR with the council, and in the previous cases we were doing reference. We were using something, a pronoun, to refer to something that we mentioned in the previous statement. Okay, so you should use reference and substitution as a part of coherence. I hope this is very clear to all of you. Now the next thing that we have is cohesion. And as I said, cohesion relates to your flow in the writing. So there are few grammatical devices known as cohesive devices which are used to maintain the flow in the writing. For example, Anna is an intelligent girl. But people consider her okay. Now what should come in this blank? Tell me, Anna is an intelligent girl, but people consider her dash. What should come in the blank? Foolish, right? So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to use an opposite word of intelligent. We are trying to use an antonym of intelligent, guys. Yes? Okay. How did you get to know that we have to use an antonym over here? Because of the use of the word but. So what I can do is, if I break this statement into two parts. Okay. So the first part over here says Anna is an intelligent girl. Then the second part should contradict each other. Why it should contradict? Because we have used but over here. So if the first part says Anna is an intelligent girl, the second part should contradict it. People consider her something which is opposite of intelligent, which is stupid in this case. So how did we get to know that we have to use stupid, or there should be opposite meaning word over here? By the use of the word but. So but always shows contrast between the two parts of the statements of a statement, and therefore it is known as contrast indicator. Good. Now consider another example. Anna is an intelligent girl. And people consider her dash. What should come in the blank now? Smart, okay. Smart, genius, brilliant, clever, right? So what are we trying to do? We are trying to use a synonym or a similar meaning word of intelligent in the blank, right? So how did we get to know that we have to use a similar meaning word? In the previous case we used an antonym. Here we are using a synonym, because here we have a word which is and. So if in this case I break this statement into two parts, what do I get to see is, if the first part is saying that Anna is an intelligent girl, the second part should say something which complements or supports that idea, right? Therefore we'll use clever over here. So and always show a support relation, always shows a support relation between the two parts of the statement. Therefore and is known as a support indicator. So we have seen two categories of words just now. One is known as contrast indicator. The other is known as support indicators. Can you give me few examples of contrast indicators, guys? One we have already seen, which was but. Any other examples? Although, good. But, whereas, good. So, but, although, though, even though, however, in spite of, despite, instead, rather. Just a few. There are many. I'm just writing a few over here. Examples of support indicators. One we have seen, and. Next can be also, moreover, furthermore, in addition, besides, in fact, additionally, right. Here we can also add on the other hand, on the contrary, sorry, by contrast, on the flip side, yes, another is also a support indicator, and similarly also, even likewise is a support indicator. Here we can use another. Apart from that, likewise, similarly, right. So similarly we have other categories of words which are known as example indicators. What are example indicators? Words that we use to give example, such as, for example, to illustrate, right. For instance, to cite an evidence, such as, like. These are known as example indicators. Then we have result indicators. Where do we use result indicators? As the last line of a body para. We will use result indicators for starting the last line of the body para. What are result indicators? As a result, consequently, as a consequence, resulting in, leading to. These are example indicators. And at the end we have conclusion indicators. What are conclusion indicators? Words that are used to give conclusion. So you will begin your conclusion paragraph by using these words. What are those words? To conclude, in conclusion, to sum up, all in all, in total, to summarize. So these were cohesive devices that we should use while we are writing an essay. Now tell me, there is a candidate who is writing an advantage disadvantage essay. So this candidate has written in one body para, this candidate has written all the advantages. Now this candidate wants to move to the disadvantage paragraph. How should he start the disadvantage paragraph with? A support indicator or a contrast indicator? So the candidate should start the disadvantage paragraph by using a contrast indicator. Similarly, if a candidate has written, let's say he's writing a problem solution essay, and in one body paragraph the candidate has written all the problems, and in the next body para the candidate wants to write the solutions of those problems. So the second, that is the solution paragraph, should start with again which indicator? You will start the solution paragraph by using contrast indicator. Right. Now in one body para where you are writing, you have to write two problems. You have written the first problem. Now in the same para you have to start writing the second problem. Which indicator should you use? Okay. Similarly, you have written one advantage, you want to write the second advantage now in the same para. Which indicator? Support indicator. So are you all able to understand where do we use these support indicators and contrast indicators, where and how in the essay? That is very important. Okay. We'll see it in the essay as well. I have a sample essay for all these 6 essay types. We'll evaluate the essays and we'll try to look at the essays from the examiner's perspective, as I said.